Hey guys, welcome to the GM's table. Before we get started with anything, I remind everybody to like, share, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, but mainly subscribe if you aren't already subscribing, and if you enjoy this material, share it with your friends. Help us grow the community. Let the channel get bigger, the community get bigger, and all that great stuff. If you want support beyond that, check out the Patreon below. That's where you're going to find videos early. As soon as I have them done and uploaded, I put them up on the Patreon, so you can watch videos as soon as they're done rather than as soon as they come out. We also have playtest material my players get for any of the games we're running, which includes anything pre-done, slightly unfinished, kind of our rough drafts of D&D material, basic fantasy material, our original games such as Fantastic Legends. Garbage truck just let off its hydraulics and threw me off. Fantastic Legends. All that great stuff. And when we're real honest, there is nothing Savage Worlds up yet because we don't have the publisher's license. We're in works with all that. But I don't want to be misconstrued as charging for Savage Worlds material without the proper paperwork. I care about that community too much to try and look like I'm trying to pull a fast one. I will say we put out a lot of setting neutral material that can work for Savage Worlds, but it's not for it. It can work for Savage Worlds, it can work for D&D, it can work for Basic. It's things that function their own bubble dynamic, and that stuff's really cool and really useful, and you can also get that stuff if you check out below. If you don't want to, that's fine, the videos will keep happening. Anyways, moving on, I want to cover some stuff. This isn't quite a game review, it isn't quite me gushing over something, but I want to talk about, I'm going to probably do a few of these, games I wish I had time to play. These are games I own that for one reason or not, I'm not currently playing. If you keep up, I'm running 2 basic fantasy games. Technically, I'm running a 5th edition game that you guys don't get to watch, but I do the recaps of. And I'm running a Savage Worlds game. I got 4 games. I got way more than 4 games in books. The first one I'm going to talk about is one I've done 2 videos on already. And I'm sorry about that. I've done a review video and they did a thank you because this physical copy I'm about to show you, I did not intend to get. The writer of City of Mist sent me a free copy. Yeah, and he's really awesome about that. I've already done a thank you video about that. But City of Mist is a game I wish I had time to play. I've done a one-shot of it when we didn't have enough time on a Friday. Or didn't have enough players to run what we had planned. And I really enjoyed it. I wish I had, in general, I kind of wish I had time to play more Powered by the Apocalypse games. But City of Mist, kind of more than any of them. Because it's kind of supers, but it's like my level of supers. It's super narrative. Is really fun, and it's modern fantasy noir, which if you guys have been keeping up with me, that is my genre. Modern fantasy, modern horror, that's my thing. Throw in noir and I'm like, yes. This book, every time I lift it so hard because this thing's heavy. This book is awesome. It is gorgeous, which is like, oh, buy the book. But the game itself, really good, really solid. I don't want to say it's super easy. The basics of the mechanics are very, very simple because it's Powered by the Apocalypse. There's some more nuanced mechanics, and especially how leveling works. It's a little chewier. It's a little crunchier. Things like if you go against your mythical side, you can take strikes against it and eventually lose your mythical side, but it lets you gain a mundane side. If you go all mythical or all mundane, you then kind of become a normal person or a god. And either way, you more or less become an NPC for a while, and other players have to get you back. The leveling mechanics in this are super interesting because it's a constant ebb and flow of things going back and forth. And as they go back and forth, the individual pieces can get more powerful. So don't worry about that. Even if you just stick with, like, I don't want to lose this thing, so that's just what I have. No, you get, because it's a tag system, which is basically these word descriptors, and whatever you want to do, for every tag you have that you can find a way to apply, you get +1. Real simple. As I said, the basic mechanics, super simple. There's some catches. You can't use the same tag twice in a row, so you gotta get creative. You could a clever or maybe even a cheeky player might find a way to use basically all their tags in one row. Great, your next roll will likely suck. So you get to figure out how that's all going to work. There's also some, I'm just going to call them mana pools because they have different names, and there's a couple of them where you can burn things to do extra stuff. It's very, very interesting. I've advocated this book a ton even if you don't run it, which is why it's actually out and I didn't have to go to shelf. go to my shelf and why it's my first one. I'm doing my first I wish I had time to play on a book I've already covered because I didn't have to go up in my shelf and pull another one down. But in there is a lot of great material for just writing, for writing noirs and writing mysteries, and it's not setting specific. It's how to structure a story and how to structure an adventure that has nothing to do with system. So I do use that book. I just wish I had time to play it. For those who aren't familiar with the overall idea of it, City of Mist is, as far as the setting in the book's concerned, though they talk about how to change it, you're in the city. That's all it really is. It's kind of this nondescript, the city. Is it a real city? Is it kind of this construct that's there to house you? Or do you want to just swing and say you're in Manhattan or you're in Chicago? It works for all of it. But as far as they're concerned, you're in the city. And being in the city, you're a being who started out as a normal person. You've lived most of your life as a normal person, then you kind of awoken. And it turns out you have a myth in you. It could be a mythological person, like a mythological figure. It could be a god. It could be an item. Excalibur is one of the pre-made characters. It can be a concept. You could be misery. You could be the internet. All of that's open on what it is. And more or less how it starts is you start as a normal person. You're awoken, so you got like one sliver. You could start 50-50, but it's best to start with one sliver. And those aspects of what your myth is can grow, but if they fully overtake you, you become an avatar. You go straight. You no longer have free will. You have to complete what that myth and their goal is. And almost always it will wreck everything or nearly everything if they accomplish it, because of how they accomplish it and how far reaching it is. So you gotta keep it in check. And you kind of super or detective or even just bum around this city, because you can play it a lot of different ways. Typically, you solve mysteries, you deal with some crime, you deal with some murders, and it's more or less, it's kind of a Dresden Files-y thing where you're in this urban environment, but there's actually a bunch of other people that are also myths and things like that. Normal people don't notice it. Everybody kind of, thanks to the mist, which it's called, everybody else sees the world normally. They think it's all completely normal. If you're not fully human, which you're not, you see through the mist. I also really love that there's areas where the mist is thicker than others. And if you go to places like an abandoned amusement park, the mist can be super thick to the point that that's what the fog is in those places all the time. The mist is so thick it's physically mist now. There's a lot of awesome ideas. I really, really wish I had the time to properly run this game and properly run a campaign about it. There are several Let's Plays of it out there that are really good quality, worth checking out. And if you're a fan of Powered by the Apocalypse games, check it out. Again, this isn't me just kind of doing, I'm going to do a review. I've done my review of this. These are games I enjoy so much, and I ended up owning one way or another. This one was gifted to me, but I just don't have time to play. So with that, I'll catch you guys later. Bye. If you like that video, check out another video over here. Whatever it is, it's probably pretty good. Don't forget to like, share so other people can find the channel, and subscribe right up there. YouTube now won't let me put a link to the Patreon, but there is a link down in the description below. So if you want to help support the channel, check that out, and I will catch you guys next time.